up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Eshi and I don't have that many friends. Are you supposed to admit that? But since moving to San Diego, quick plug for my moving series, we have had quite a number of friends come and stay with us. And for those few friends that I do have, I want to make them feel welcome and comfortable in my home. For some of you, these tips may be no-brainers, to which I say, good job, you're probably a great host. But for everyone else who might be a beginner or trying to figure out how exactly to plan someone coming and staying with you, I hope this video helps you out a lot. If it does, please hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me out a lot. And if you like this type of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and become a new friend of mine, because I definitely need more friends. So I'm going to divide this up into two major sections. The first section is what you can do kind of immediately or a couple days preceding your friend's visit. And the last section is going to be what you kind of have to plan out for a little bit longer, maybe a month before your friend gets here. My first tip for you when it comes to things you can do more immediately has to do with your guests' sleeping arrangements. So we were lucky enough when we moved to San Diego to get a second bedroom, which we now use as our office/guest bedroom. And if you haven't seen my office makeover, another quick plug, go check it out. It turned out really, really cool. But because we have that extra room, we were able to get a pull-out couch for our guests. But I'm here to tell you, that's not the important part. Whether you have an extra couch for your friends, whether you have a blow-up mattress, whatever you have, it's gonna work out perfectly fine. But the important pieces are the bedding and the pillows. It's an extra added touch that I think makes all of the difference for when your guests are staying with you. Getting a good quality set of sheets, 4 pillows, a duvet and duvet cover or a comforter, some extra blankets, all of that just goes into making your guest feel super comfortable in your house. And honestly, getting all of these things does not have to be expensive. I think I got all of my things from like Amazon and Target, but I will leave links to everything down below. Making up a nice bed for your guest, wherever that may be, if it's on a couch or an actual bed, it just adds that touch of luxury and comfort to them while they're away from their favorite bed. And getting a couple extra pillows does really, really help, especially if you're hosting someone like me who loves surrounding themselves with pillows. It just makes their sleep so much better. And having a lighter comforter or duvet and then maybe having some extra blankets or quilts around for them also helps, because you don't know if your guests are hot or cold sleepers, so they can kind of figure out the best way they can sleep. Because honestly, when you're sleeping away from home, it can either go really, really well and make your trip so much better, or make your trip a nightmare. So you can help your guests out in that department. And when you're making that bed, little touches like folding your fitted sheets around your mattress really nicely and crisply in the corners, or making your quilt super fluffy and folded over perfectly with a blanket on top. Those extra aesthetic touches may not seem to make a big difference, but when your guest walks in and sees that you've really thought it through for them, it just, I don't know, it makes everybody feel warm and cozy, and that's kind of what you're trying to get out of the experience, right? So highly recommend. My second tip that you can immediately implement has to do with toiletries and bathroom essentials. One of my favorite things to do for all my guests is I actually have a designated goodie bag that I replenish for every one of my guests. In my little goodie bag, I put things that my guests might commonly forget, like toothpaste, mouthwash, a loofah, lotion, random little things like that. Oh, and sunscreen, because we're in San Diego and they may be traveling from not so sunny of a destination. I add a towel for them. I sometimes even add little fluffy bathroom slippers, but that's just because I'm extra. This little goodie bag is just a great touch so that your guest feels like they're welcome and you're excited to have them and you really thought it all out. And also, if they've forgotten little random things, it's all right there for them. And along with those extra little toiletries that you have available for them, giving them actual physical space in your bathroom will also help. Whether you are sharing a bathroom with them, or maybe they just have their own second bathroom to use, giving them maybe an extra drawer to put all of their stuff in, or maybe just like a nice cute marble tray on top of the bathroom counter to put all of their supplies on. Whatever it is, giving them their own space for their toiletries also makes it feel a lot more welcome for them. Along with our guest bedroom, we have a guest bathroom, so it makes it super easy for our guests to use that bathroom all to themselves. But another thing I do is I add an over-the-door hanger so that they can hang all of their clothes in their bathroom as well. So you might want to think about something like that. And the last thing is to make sure they know where all of the extra bathroom supplies are, like toilet paper, like Kleenex, things like that, because you want to make sure they can find that on their own well before they actually need it. My third tip that you can implement immediately has to do with storage. I find it super nice and helpful to give them some closet storage space. What this means for me is, again, I have that extra guest bedroom, so it is easier for me to do this, but I clear out the closet in there. So I give them hangers so they can hang all of their clothes. I give them an extra cupboard so they can put away their folded clothes. I give them room at the bottom of the closet so they can put their shoes away. If you don't have an extra closet or an extra half of a closet to give them, this can be just as simple as telling them they can leave their shoes at the front, or giving them a little nightstand or a little drawer, chest of drawers to put all of their stuff away. Whatever it is, just figure out one designated area that they can put all of their clothes and other items so they feel like they can kind of spread out just a tiny bit. And don't forget to figure out where they're going to put their luggage, because whether they are going to unpack everything or keep everything in their luggage, it is a big piece. So just in your mind, figure out where they can place that and get to it every day without it taking up a lot of space. Another quick tip, I don't have this piece yet, but I was eyeing it on Amazon, but it is this little thing that you can purchase that you can kind of fold out for your guests where they can put their luggage on top, and it's a hamper underneath for their dirty clothes. This might be handy and I might be purchasing it soon. And my last tip for something you can do immediately when your guests are over is to talk to them about the house rules. I put rules in quotations because it's really more like showing them around and making them feel welcome to use all of your spaces, showing them the light switches. If you're like us and we have Google Homes everywhere connected to like the lights and stuff, you can tell them how to access that and what to say to turn the lights on, things like that. If you have a thermostat and you're okay with them changing the temperature, you can tell them how that works. If you have windows and doors that are complicated to open, you can explain those things to them. If you have pets, so they shouldn't be keeping doors open without watching, you could explain those things to them. If you live in an apartment and you have like a key fob or a key, maybe you can give them an extra key, explain how to get about the building, explain how to get to the amenities if they want to use it, all those little random things that you know because you live in this house, but that your guest definitely wouldn't. Ask them about their allergies, because maybe things that you have in your house like food or pets would cause those allergies to flare up, so having Benadryl, having medicine, all those little things that you have in your own home and you can access, make sure they know how to access those things too. Now I'm going to move on to talking about things that you kind of have to think through a little bit further out from when they arrive at your place. I would say give it maybe a month before they arrive, but my first tip is to think about planning activities for your guests. What I typically do is at least a couple weeks before my guests get here, I ask them what it is they like to do. Are they looking for their visit to be more relaxing, or are they looking to have a jam-packed schedule of activities and really visit your city in depth and do a lot of outdoorsy things? Are they looking to do a lot of events with you indoors? Are they looking to go to a bunch of restaurants? Is cuisine a priority for them? You may want to ask them if they plan on working while they're visiting you, because some people might be working during the day. Maybe they only have the weekend open for you to actually do activities. Maybe they plan on doing a lot of these things just by themselves. They want to explore your city by themselves, which is totally okay. You don't have to be as neurotic as me, who makes a schedule for every person who's visiting, and schedule is like every hour of the day, but you should research a little bit beforehand based on what they like to do, and have a potential list of activities and maybe a potential list of restaurants or bars ready to go. Now, I know that your friend may just be visiting to visit you specifically and want to spend time with you, which is great. You can definitely plan a lot of activities around just spending time with your friends, but your friend doesn't live in your city or know how it is to live in your city. So I think it's great if you plan a couple activities that kind of show off your city so that they can experience things that they normally wouldn't be able to. My next tip that you kind of have to plan in advance kind of goes off of that last tip of activities, and this is transportation. Now, if you have a car and are in a city that everybody drives in, this is going to be like a no-brainer for you, right? You have a car, you're good to go, you can take your guests wherever they want to go, you can, if you're comfortable with this, let your guests use your car. But if you're in a city that relies more on public transportation, you may want to think about that ahead of time and either get your guest like a Metro card or an extra Metro card that you haven't used, or explain to to your guests how to use these public transportation systems. Because believe me, coming from Detroit, a place that only uses cars to get around, and going to a place like New York or Philadelphia or Chicago that uses a lot of public transportation, I would be lost if I was a guest in that city without any explanation. And this also has to do with the activities you plan, because you should make sure you have good methods of transportation to get your whole group to an activity and back home from an activity. And I also think it's a really nice touch to pick up your guests from the airport or the bus station when they're coming into your city and taking them home, and then also dropping them back off at the bus station or the airport if you have a car. I just think it's a really nice, welcoming touch to have that transportation kind of taking care of them from as soon as they land in your city to when they are flying out. And my last tip that you should definitely think about before you have a guest stay in your home is the financial situation of it all. Now, obviously, you're gonna be sharing your home with your guests. You're gonna be probably sharing a lot of home cooked meals with your guests, and that is all fantastic. It's all in the spirit of sharing and continuing your friendship and that connection. But you also have to think about the financials of the activities that you plan, the restaurants that you go to, the bars you go to, all of those extra expenses that come up during a trip. You don't necessarily have to plan this with your guests, but you should at least think about how you're going to split up those expenses. Is it going to be pretty even? Are we just gonna split the bill in half? Are we gonna keep track of what we're ordering? Are you going to treat your guest to a dinner out? Are you gonna treat your guests to a drinks out? Whatever it is, just think about the financials of your trip and figure it out beforehand so you don't have any awkward conversations during the trip where someone thinks they're not gonna pay for something, but you expect them to. Just think about that beforehand. And if you need to talk through something with your guest, absolutely do it. You should feel comfortable having these conversations now that you're getting to be adults and they're coming to stay over at your house. These are absolutely normal conversations to be having with your friends, and I encourage them. And that is a roundup of all of the tips and tricks that I have acquired while hosting, like 10 guests this past year since we moved to San Diego? I don't know, it's been a large number of people that have come and stayed with me in San Diego, and for good reason, because it's an amazing city. I hope this helps you host your next guest and make them feel super warm and fuzzy when they come to visit you. These are all such small things, but when you combine them, it makes your guests' experience at your home so much better. And I promise you, your guests will absolutely take note and appreciate the thoughtfulness that went behind you planning their trip. And this may be a good or bad thing, but I know that this will make your friends want to come and stay with you more and have more friends come and stay with you. You'll be the popular house, believe me. So I hope you enjoy your time with your friends. I hope you guys had a good holiday, and I hope your new year is even better. Thank you so much for an amazing year, you guys. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, my internet friends, and I cannot wait to see what the new year brings for both of us.